Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of a NASCAR Heat 5 Next Gen Mod Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. We got some brand new paint here. Black and blue Sirius XM. One of the Kurt Busch paint schemes just turned into a Gary Owen paint scheme thanks to Sanok. You can see us landing here and seeing the area of Phoenix, Arizona. Not landing, I should say, but driving. We actually drove to Phoenix from Las Vegas and we were ready to get some on-track time in practice for this Fan Shield 500. And a track of Phoenix, it's an interesting one in NASCAR Heat 5. It's a bit of a difficult one, and tire wear is a very large thing to keep an eye on here at this track. So we'll have to really pay attention to that later in the runs now as we would start out free practice one. Free practice one, I'm thinking of an F1 mindset here. But nonetheless, getting on track here in Friday practice, seeing what we can bring to the table here, starting our laps now and just see what we have. Car, is it tight, loose, etc. I really like a loose car, but a loose car can kind of bite you here in Phoenix for the exact reason I was just talking about with the tire wear. You don't really want a loose car, at least don't want the car too loose. You can see myself actually getting into the outside wall here in practice, so maybe dealing with a bit of a tight car actually in this number 45 early on, but we would kind of get into the track and kind of gel with it a little bit here as the laps went on and actually beat the goal of a 26.990, so that was pretty good there. And obviously sponsors Sirius XM especially liking that one this time around. Now though, it was time on Saturday morning to do some qualifying. No truck race for this weekend, but we do have an Xfinity race recap on the way here momentarily as we kick off our one and only attempt here in qualifying down into turn 1 and 2. You want to really hug this yellow line here, at least towards the center of the corner, and then you can of course widen your exit here out of turn 2 down the back straightaway towards turn 3. Now down in turn 3 and 4 NASCAR Heat 5, you want to get down to below this yellow line just like that right there. Get as close to that black line on the left tires as you can, and then exit on the exit of 4. You open it up, cross the line of 26.761 for a 4-star car. We qualified P14. That was actually a pretty competitive lap considering the equipment that we have. So really, no complaints. Is on pole. It's Eric Almirola, Christopher Bell, Byron Briscoe, Blaney, the top 5, Elliott rounding out the top 10. Hendrick Motorsports looking pretty strong coming into this week, and you see the rest of that order. Our teammate Bubba Wallace down there 25th, Chastain 26th, a bit of an odd qualifying for him here as Haley at the bottom of the grid. Ready to go racing though in Phoenix, but we have the Xfinity recap you can see here. How about Sam Mayer picking up his first win in the Cup Series over Austin Hill, Brandon Brown, Riley Herbst having a decent day in Phoenix as well. And like I said, you know, these are important to pay attention to because this is going to determine drivers that move up into the Cup Series and whatnot, and same for trucks going into Xfinity. Nonetheless, though, it's time to head into the race on Sunday.
It's been a beautiful West Coast swing for the debut of NASCAR's Next Gen era. Welcome everyone to Phoenix Raceway as we head short track racing for the first time this year. In the news this week has been Martin Truex Jr. as rumors start to spread that he is considering retirement at the end of the season. What do you make of this development, guys?
Well, Chris, Martin is into his mid-40s now and has endured lots of success in recent years. There has, however, been a noticeable fall-off in performance since he's lost former crew chief Cole Pearn. I wouldn't be shocked if he decides to hang up the helmet.
All right, bud. I think this is the best car we've had this season. Let's make it count.
I could not agree more with that one. Let's make it happen today. You hear myself on the radio with the team, and we are ready to go racing. Ross Chastain, kind of the big story of the race, has not been looking like himself. A bit off the pace here coming into this weekend. Now, I won't have any other different driver radios today because I currently have no internet until Friday. Now, this is a Wednesday making this. I've had no internet since Monday, and I'm not supposed to have it till the absolute earliest of Friday, so I'm kind of limited with like creativity stuff that I can do for the next few episodes, but it is what it is. If you're wondering where the videos have been, that's where they've been. I've had no internet. We're underway here in Phoenix. However, the one break without the internet has, hopefully by the time this video is going out, I will have a whole stockpile of videos to put out for a while now, and I can just start cranking out career modes and whatnot. Here we are, though, of course, in the mid-teens for the start of this race. So we got some work to do if we want to get into the top 10. We have yet to pick up any stage points this season. That's been kind of biting us a little bit, but stage points are hard to come by in a 4-star car. That's for sure. Eric Almirola, he's going to come through to lead lap 1. However, if we know trends regarding a Stuart Haas car, aside from Kevin Harvick, is we're probably going to see that car drop off as the race goes on, especially in stage number 1. But Almirola still leads away briefly. I'm side by side with his teammate of Cole Custer down this back stretch. Now, if Custer actually does well this season, you will see him return to that 41 in Season 2 for the 2023 season, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Now you can see another SHR car dropping down the order. That's the 14 of Chase Briscoe, as I'm going to slip up the inside of him down into turn 3 behind the 17 of Chase Briscoe here. And this is our first first short track, I mean. It's our first short track of the season here in the NASCAR Cup Series. At least that's what they like to call it. Personally, I do not consider this a short track by any means whatsoever, but that is what it is apparently classified as. So we are short track racing here in Phoenix, but you can see myself lap 17 or lap 7 of 14 here in the stage, letting Cole Custer to my inside. William Byron has now gotten out in front, but I'm down to P15, kind of struggling here as the laps go on. Stage 1 is a very short stage compared to stage 2 and stage 3. Stage 2 is like double the length of stage 2, and then stage 3 is a little bit longer than stage 2. We now have Daniel Suarez breathing down my neck here as we head down into turn 3, and then you can see that 41 kind of being held up behind the 48 of Alex Bowman. I can confirm some rating changes are on the way, coming in the next episode, as the caution is actually going to fly early on here. William Byron, Christopher Bell, Logano, Blaney, Hamlin, your top 5. All of Hendrick Motorsports aside from Alex Bowman inside the top 10, and Bowman's not far out either. So I couldn't find the reason for the caution, so everybody's going to stay out because we can make it to the end of stage 1 without any pit stops, so we would get ready to go back green. We're not going to have a lot of racing remaining here, however, in stage 1. It's going to be just 2 laps to go already in this first stage. Byron leads the way. We're back underway here. Watch out for Logano up there in that yellow car. You can briefly see him. He might make a move on that 24 down into turn 1. He's known to be aggressive on restarts, and sure enough, Logano to the inside of Byron. He's going to try and take the lead away as he's going to clear the 24 on the exit of turn 2. Here I am passing the 41 alongside the 19 of Martin Truex Jr., who's in right now. The news, as you heard in the pre-show from Chris Meyers, the rumors right there that Truex considering retirement following the 2022 season. Nothing is confirmed, nothing is set in stone, but we'll have to pay attention to that, because if anybody leaves Joe Gibbs Racing at the end of the season, we could be in consideration for getting a call-up, so we'll definitely have to pay attention to what's going on there. Joey Logano, however, a couple of stage wins on the season, leads the way down the back straightaway into towards turn 3, and, well, Logano's going to go pick up another stage victory. Byron, Hamlin, second and third. We're going to cross the line for P14, so we qualified P14. We're going to end up stage 1 P14, so nothing changes there. Overall, honestly, can't really complain. The car is pretty good. This is definitely the quickest the car has been all season long. Our teammate Bubba Wallace struggling quite a bit now, as we've seen these struggles for this team kind of go back and forth, where I've struggled and he's done good, and then, well, here I am doing good and he's struggling as well. So now getting ready though to go back green for stage number 2, and it's going to be Joey Logano, William Byron in that front row. We're back underway for stage 2, which is, like I said, about double the length here, 28 or so laps here behind that 48 of Alex Bowman in that Ally Financial Chevrolet Camaro. Up the inside of Ryan Blaney, he goes down into turn 1, trying to follow him through and hopefully get past this 19 of Martin Truex Jr. I will on the exit of the corner. Bell trying to now make the pass on that 24 for second place into turn 3, and sure enough, Christopher Bell clear, takes second place away. Harvick up there, the king of Phoenix, trying to put some pressure on the 24 as well of Byron, who seems to be falling down at the start of this stage number 2. Briscoe to my inside. We moved up into P10 here on this restart, so a very competitive restart for us, but now you see that 14 pressuring me, but we are going to have enough of an exit right here to be able to stay comfortably ahead and now clear of that 14. And as we continue on, around a lap 5, still running P10, but the 17 of Buescher had actually moved up into P11 and now gotten to my inside. And we've seen RFK have their ups and downs this season, where Kurt Busch has done really well, and then we've seen Buescher struggle a little bit and Keselowski struggle a bit. However, today we are seeing Chris Buescher lead the ship, you could say, for that number 17 car for that RFK camp. So we'll see what he can do. We got past the 48 and drove away from him as well. So Bowman and myself have been pretty similar on pace throughout this whole race so far. You can see us trying to stick with him. Now here goes Kyle Busch. I did overdrive turn 3 a bit, and that allows Kyle Busch to go through and take P11 away from us. Martin Truex Jr. not far behind. The Toyotas have been kind of running in a similar area. We saw this recently, and we're kind of running in that similar area again. Kyle, though, moving himself into the top 10 here as I briefly send one up the inside of that 48 of Alex Bowman. Couldn't quite complete anything there, and then as I try to run him up the track, here goes Truex now catching me off guard. He goes to my inside. Then we got a mirror full of Austin Cindric in the number 2 discount tire Ford Mustang. So things not going how I would like them to go late in this second stage, or about the midway point in this second stage really now, and that 2 car was all over me as well here through turn 3 a few moments later. Truex now passing that 48 of Bowman, who's actually got a puff of smoke right there. Bowman blows up on the exit of turn 4 down the front straightaway. That's, I think, the 3rd time this season we have seen a Hendrick Motorsports car have an engine issue. You have to wonder with this new car if they are trying something with their engines that other teams are not trying, because that is, like I said, the 3rd Hendrick engine that has had a malfunction this season, and we are only a few races in. The caution comes out a few laps later, though, as we run P12, not for the 48 of Bowman, but Christopher Bell out in front as we make more adjustments there for 4 tires as well. But I put the wedge up from 50.0 to 50.5 since the beginning of this race. Ready to go green now behind that number 18 Joe Gibbs driver of Kyle Busch, and we have 10 laps to go in stage number 2. So P12, not too disappointed with that effort so far here. Now Daniel Suarez just behind myself in that number 99. He is leading the flag, or I guess carrying the flag right now for Trackhouse Racing in this specific episode. We've already seen Trackhouse go to victory lane for the first time in their team's career this season, and that was with Ross Chastain picking up his first career win earlier this season. I say earlier this season, like 1 episode ago, basically. But you can see ourselves here crossing the line there side by side with that 41 of Cole Custer down towards turn number 1. Trying to use the second lane to my advantage and be able to make it work here. Now you can even see myself going up to lane number 3, trying to get around the outside of Kyle Busch. Christopher Bell out in front right now. That number 20 car looking very, very strong so far, as you can see us settling in behind that number 41 of Cole Custer as we came through to these final 6 laps of the stage, with Almirola kind of putting some pressure on behind myself, but he would get close but just wasn't quite able to actually pounce on it and make it a move. Now yellow flags out, and it looks like it's trouble up in front of us. I believe that's the 12 of Ryan Blaney. That's going to end stage 2 a few laps early, so Christopher Bell wins stage number 2 over Kyle Larson. Blaney, although he brings out the caution, still gets P5 because that's where he was scored at the time of that yellow flag. So you see the smoke pouring out. That is a tire failure. We've seen quite a few tire failures so far now, but we pit for 4 tires, 2 cans of fuel. We gain 4 spots in the pit lane. A great stop. This puts us in P10 for the restart. With stage 3 officially being underway, the 2 car of Cindric does not go whatsoever. We're 3 wide as we cross the line. Still 3 wide. Here goes Truex now to the inside. Almirola to follow, and bringing Todd Gilliland with him as well as we head down into turn number 1. Kyle Busch side by side with Truex is Joe Gibbs Racing teammate there just in front of us now. Cindric to my inside as we exit turn 2. I went really, really wide right there. Christopher Bell leads the way over Larson and Bowyer and the 200 teammates side by side into turn 3. Contact with the 38. It looked like the 4 forced it 3 wide and caught me way off guard. I thought we were going to be going down into turn 3 2 wide. That was not the case whatsoever here. 33 laps to go, and if this goes green to the end of the stage, that's what I'm wondering about, is tire wear. We haven't really seen a long green flag run, and we haven't seen me do that either this race so far, is hitting the outside wall. Not what I want to be doing, and there goes now. That's the 3 of Austin Dillon to my inside on this 46th lap of the race, and we would continue to try and fight back on the outside. Here's Kurt Busch in that number 60 Vitamin Water paint scheme. Absolutely awesome paint scheme there, and there's going to be other variants of that Vitamin Water car, basically like just different colors, and that was actually made by by D-Money. Shout out to D-Money in the Discord now, as you can see myself now settling into 14th. We had rookies, Austin Cindric, Gilliland, myself, and Harrison Burton running 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. A very nice showing for rookies here today in Phoenix. You see that rookie class on the screen here. Now 4 of us going for the Rookie of the Year. The caution is going to fly with 27 laps to go. And I think it's for the 20. Christopher Bell, it is for the 20. Bell, who's been dominating since he's taken the lead. He has crashed, and there he is. Larson to the lead as Buscher's up to third, Elliott in second. We're going to take right side tires to maintain track position. But Christopher Bell, who's dominated, loses a tire. And, well, his race comes to an end. We're back underway now. At this point, less than 30 to go, 24 to be exact, but a huge shot in the heart there for Christopher Bell, who was looking at his first win of the season, and now it's been just completely ruined for him here on that number 20 Joe Gibbs Racing machine. Here we are on the inside of that 19 of Martin Truex Jr. As you can see, Hamlin, our boss, just a few spots in front of us as well. Hamlin looking for that first win of this next-gen era here. As you can see myself trying to crack into the top 10, getting a little bit tight though. On the exit of turn 4, opens the door for the Trackhouse driver Daniel Suarez, looking for his first win in the NASCAR Cup Series in this 2022 season. Obviously, in real life, he picked up his first career win in Sonoma. Will he even pick up a win in the DLC, the mod, now as we head down towards turn number 1 on lap 58. Almirola just behind me. Dropped down to P13. Kyle Larson out in front at this point here. Lap 60 of 78, coming to 18 to go. Almirola trying to sneak up my inside, but tire wear was starting to become a bit of a focus point here for myself. Now I was trying to pay a lot of attention to that. Now is Almirola now 18 to go up my inside as he started on pole. Don't forget Almirola P1 to kick off this race, but obviously hasn't quite shown the actual race pace. But still, I mean, 13th place for Eric Almirola standards, pretty good day now as we continue to fight with him on the exit of turn 2 down this back stretch. Not trying to give it up easy, but he has a nice advantage here. Just has a bit more pace than I do at this point in the race, and sure enough, through 3 out of turn 4 specifically, he is going to be able to complete the pass. So down to 14th place we go, 17 to go. This is where I would really start to pay attention to the tire wear. So look at this. We're going to take a look here, coming to the final 13 laps of this race, and now the tires are starting to get concerningly close to danger. 48% on the right rear, and I was wearing about 5% a lap on that right rear tire, and at this rate 40%, 39% with 9 laps to go. At this point in time, we are going to at the 5% wear per lap below that right rear tire around the final lap of this race. Obviously we don't want to do that. We want to make it to the end of the race.
I need you to save tires for me here.
I am doing what I can. You hear the quick discussion on the radio, but you can see lap 73 coming up on 25% on that right rear tire with 6 laps to go. Now it's really save mode here, so you're going to notice me kind of lifting and coasting a bit more into the corner specifically, and 15% with 4 laps to go. Harrison Burton is closing in, but I can't really fight him. Now, we're not the only driver that's dealing with this scenario. Other drivers are in danger as well, and it's really a question of who is going to risk it, or who is going to pit and, well, come in to save their car and maybe their career and not risk injury. Burton goes by. I just couldn't fight him. We're at 12% on that right rear, 3 laps remaining, and now it's going to get really spicy. 7% with 2 laps to go, but hold on the track map. Chase Elliott to the lead of this race. Kyle Larson leading with 2 to go, decides he is not going to risk those tires, and he actually pits. Fuel is not an issue. These drivers are pitting because of tires, and you can see 1, 2, 3, at least 4 cars in the pit lane, including the former leader of Larson. 1 lap to go for Chase Elliott then, who's suddenly leading this race. We're at 4% on the right rear, 3%. It's basically a lost cause at this point. Even if I go ultra conservative, I don't know if I can manage to hold on, especially that we just lost a percent down a straightaway. At this point, there's no backing out. I could pit now, but I was hoping that if the tire blows, maybe I could keep it up on the wall and limp around. There it is, 0%. What happens? Elliott's gonna win already. We're crashing down the back straightaway. The tire has gone, and spinning we go. Cole Custer, nowhere to go. We get T-bone there, and then the other SHR teammate of his comes through as well. No caution. It's the final lap of the race, and we get back rolling here, but the damage is done. Chase Elliott has won in Phoenix, and he won back here in 2020 to seal the deal for his first NASCAR Cup Series championship. Now you can see the weird damage model with this mod kind of coming through here now, but we're going to cross the line limping it home. It's going to be P24 after what was looking like our best day in terms of just raw pace aside from Daytona turns into a 24th place effort. As you could imagine, a bit frustrating, but at the same time, you gotta look at the positives. We ran really good. You can see the finishing order there. Suarez up 8th. So Elliott with the win over Byron. Larson, I'm surprised, did not take the risk to stay out and try to get the victory and pick up 5 playoff points there. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is for him, and we still end up 24th. Bubba there, 26th. Not a good day for our team at Bubba Wallace, but it looked like he was one of the drivers that pitted. Larson, Kyle Busch, Harvick, Cindric, Kozlowski, Reddick, those guys all pitted as well. And you can see the DNFs with Bell, Bowman, and Landon Castle as well. That wraps up the West Coast swing. It went green flag for a good majority of stage 3, which hurt us in the end. One less lap is all we needed, but you can see Elliott now another new winner. 4 different winners in 4 races this season. We are currently 15 points out of the playoffs. Now Austin Dillon being the last one in. We're going to get ready to take off here from Phoenix, and we're going to head all the way over to Atlanta. So that should be a fun one, which is basically full throttle mile-and-a-half racing. It almost fits the new Atlanta the way it is. Bowman, by the way, 33rd in the standings. Can confirm a rating change on the way for him. That's going to wrap it up for me, though. I'll see you guys in Atlanta. Have a great day, everybody.